welcome back to the Ventured Trail. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so happy you're here. So today I'm going to be talking about fairies. We're going to be talking about working with the earth element, how to connect to the fairies, how to make a fairy altar, what attracts fairies, how you welcome them into your life, and how they can benefit your life and bring you and uplift you up to a higher vibration. So to start, I guess we'll just talk about the earth element. So the earth itself really grounds us. It allows us to just release our worries, our stress, our depressive moments, and our anxious energies into the earth. Also, I guess I should point out, I dyed my hair last night, and I feel like a fairy princess today. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway. So yeah, working with the earth can be very calming, can be very lightening. It'll lighten you up, it'll make you feel less heavy, like you're carrying less, because you will be able to release all of this to the Mother Earth. This is a great time as well, with everything so uncertain, unpredictable, and a little bit scary out there. Just remember to connect back into the earth, because she'll always have your back. She's here, she's your home, she's your mother. She's here to help you out. So, before we get too into this, I just want to burn a bay leaf. Just to clear up the air. Get some good intentions going around. Ooh. Flicking ashes all over my room, but what's new? And I'll burn more of that later. Okay, so I guess first I'll start out with my personal experience working with the fairies, how I started working with them. So a couple years ago, I was going through a really crazy depressive episode, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was spiritually awakening, and I was just so aware of all these negative, heavy energies. I couldn't connect on an individual level. I couldn't stay in my body because I was so aware of everything going on all at once. I was aware of so much war and so much deceit, so much manipulation going on with politics and within society and its structure. I was worried because I didn't know how to feel normal again. I felt so out of body all the time. I didn't feel connected. I didn't feel like me. I felt like I was just observing life as it was going past. I had no energy. I stayed in my room a lot, in my bed a lot, and I was crying a lot. And of course this is normal, like this is natural. Sometimes we go through a period where we just feel like a bag of shit, and like it's not comfortable, it's not joyful, it's disgusting, it's terrible, it feels disgusting. But so goes the balance of life. There's duality in everything, and for every extreme high there has to be an extreme low to be felt, or else you don't understand the other emotion that's opposite of it, right? But anyway, I was going through a really bad depressive episode, and I started seeing these sparkles once in a while, and this is when my clairvoyance was opening up. I was starting to see the grid of the earth, starting to see crown chakras a little bit, and seeing energies coming out of people's hands when they were writing, which was really cool. So I started seeing these sparkles, and when I was really low, I would see these bubbles, and they were like rainbow bubbles, like somebody had taken like, you know, like a bubble container, like with the wand, and blown bubbles in my face, breezing them across in front of my vision. It was incredible, and it was so magical. And it would stop me in my tracks. It totally like would stop my mental state from spiraling into this lower energy, and it would just refresh me. So I started realizing that it was fairies because it was so sparkly and so joyful, and I kind of had an inkling, I guess, that that's what it was. And I started watching some videos, some Reiki videos, and it was like collective energies. So there were live videos where people could ask for Reiki healing, And if you didn't get a chance for Reiki healing, you would still receive a message, because everyone was so connected that while the Reiki healer was healing somebody else, they were also healing some other stuff. Like, you tuned in for a reason, to hear a certain message. So the message that I received was that fairies were lifting me up. It was almost like they were keeping me in a bubble of light and high energy, and trying to uplift me, trying to lift my spirits and bring me back to the earth, just reconnect me. So that's how I started working with fairies. I got some plants, and I realized that fairies really enjoyed the plants I was getting. I got an ivy plant and a succulent, and they really enjoyed that. I started going on walks among the trees, in forests, in heavily treed areas, and I realized that they really loved hanging out among the trees as well. And I understood, okay, so I guess fairies are very tied to the element of earth, which I guess it sounds really like obvious, but when you're first starting to work with them, you're not even like completely sure what you're experiencing, because you need to let go of perception before you work with any elemental. And I think that's number one. Don't have any expectations. Don't have a vision of what you think it's going to work, or what it's going to look like, or what it's going to feel like. Just welcome their energy into your field and trust in the beneficial light and the higher vibrations, and you'll understand them so much more, and you'll open up your heart, and they'll open up to you. So I guess just from my experiences here, I would say that I have some tips here for if you wanted to start working with fairies and working with the element of earth in like just overall as well. So number one, a fairy altar. If you're interested in making a fairy altar, I have quite a few different things in my altar, and you need to just listen to your gut, listen to the fairies, just like open up your intuition and see what's coming through. A lot of the times, like dried flowers, flower petals, stones, crystals, plants. Like, I'll show you my altar. So these are the items in my altar. I usually have it hidden in a spot where they can kind of hang out, do their own thing, but I brought it onto my table so that everyone can see. I have a hagstone here, a little mason jar with chamomile and catnip, a dried carnation, a little seashell, amethyst, green calcite, some shards of white, not white, clear quartz, a cedar branch, some change, some sea glass. Basically, you can use whatever you want, whatever's calling to you to give to the fairies. You can kind of just tune in and see what you'd like to offer them. The whole point of creating an altar for the fairies is to give them a space within your home that they can, whoa. Hi, Murph. I guess Murphy's joining us. Hi, baby. Hello, my man. Okay, anyway, so yeah, creating an altar just gives them a space to exist, because another thing about working with fairies is that they can be tricksters. They can be very playful and curious, and see you later. And they can mess around with your stuff. They like shiny things. They get very, like I said, curious. And there's such a light energy that they don't take things very seriously sometimes. So giving them an altar gives them a space to just chill out, gives them some like objects to play with and to kind of analyze and let them kind of chill there. I'm just gonna burn some more of that bay leaf just because Murphy came and left and he altered some stuff in here. Okay. How to reach out to the fairies to begin with, I guess, as well. I will just say, all you have to do is just open yourself up to them. In a meditation sometime, just speak aloud that you're welcoming fairy energies into your space. They can be very beneficial to work with when you are going through a depressive episode, like I said, going through spiritual awakening, as well as if you're working with inner child kind of traumas, inner child kind of healing as well. When you're working through those kinds of energies, fairies can be very beneficial because we connected with them so strongly when we were small. I don't know about you, but for me, I would imagine fairies in our garden and I would draw fairies, and I was so attracted to their energy. They had wings, they had sparkles. Tinkerbell was a sassy bitch and she was still magical. I loved them. So connecting with your inner child, working with like inner child work, that's a great time to call upon fairy energies as well, as they kind of rekindle that youthful energy, that openness and that fearlessness that comes from when you are a child. If you're working with like physical elements as well, connecting to the fairies, yeah, adopt some plant babies. Working with essential oils such as lemongrass, cedarwood, black spruce, floral ones as well, like, oh, what am I thinking? Rose, but I'm thinking something else. Starts with a G. Geranium. There we go. Geranium and rose, those are really good ones as well. Lemon, orange, grapefruit, citrusy and floral ones, and earthy ones. Those will kind of connect you in and help you feel out that energy a little bit more. For crystals, I would say moss agate is number one. It's very earth connected, and fairies love it. Don't mind the barking going on in the background. Green calcite as well has a very nice, light, playful energy to it. Green aventurine, as well as some others. I can make a list if you're interested, so please leave a comment below if you'd like me to kind of expand on the crystals to work with. Rose quartz too, that's a good one. As well as just, yeah, going out and spending time with the trees. You don't have to go out and buy anything to connect to fairies. They're very earth-based. They're simple. You don't need to spoil them for them to understand that you'd like to connect. Another tip that I learned from my friend E, Yellow Empress Tarot, or at Chill Brunette on Twitter. When we've talked about our connection with fairies, she says that she leaves coins for them and that they leave coins for her, which is an interesting little exchange there. So you can always play around with that as well. It's playing like giving them shiny things, or noticing if some coins are showing up out of nowhere. That might be the fairies asking to connect with you as well. So I guess that's my introduction to working with fairies, working with the earth element. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Feel free to reach out to me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as YouTube, at Ventured Trail. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope you have a really amazing day. Much love.